at school
Yeah,
when we were young?
every Friday.
It happened for a good reason, Marcy. It's estimated that 2.4 million cases of head lice happen each year in Canada. That's right. But it's mostly on kids, but adults are at risk too.
So here to help us identify, treat, and ultimately reduce the risk of getting head lice is expert Don Mucci. Welcome to the show, Don. So let's start with the basics. What are head lice and how can we avoid getting them?
Head lice are little bugs. They crawl in your hair, they lay eggs, they suck your blood. You will not get them if you do not make head-to-head or hair-to-item contact. That's the first thing. They're very common and they affect anyone, and they're actually the second most communicable affliction next to the common cold in children.
I'm already feeling itchy. Like I feel like this is what's going to happen throughout the segment. But
You've got a good friend here.
We're going to take a look at a few products you brought along. As we're going to start with combs, which you say are essential in treating head lice. Why? What? And what are we looking for when we're coming to combs?
Okay, so combs are your number one weapon in the arsenal to vanquish lice, and I brought some lousy, better, and best combs here.
Okay.
If you want to grab this blue comb, this is what we call the best comb, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
They have long tines. The tines are microgrooved, and the tolerances between them are very tight. So they'll go through any type of hair, and they won't pull and tear the hair, but they'll pull and tear the eggs out of the hair.
Okay.
Now, when we're looking at the lousy combs, you see how short those tines are?
Yeah.
You see how tight they are together? You won't get that through your hair. And if you do that on a child, it'll tear their hair and they won't sit for you. So you want to look for something with long tines. These other ones in the middle that are better, they've got the long tines, but they don't have the micro grooving, and the tolerance and the space between aren't adequate to do the job.
So if we're to use this really good one,
Right.
we would do it on wet hair or dry hair, or does it matter?
Typically, when you're reduction combing, you're doing it on wet hair with conditioner, and it just makes the process more gentle.
Okay.
Okay, so one of the things that you recommend is to do self-monitoring. What does that look like, Don?
So self-screening, if you take a peek once a week, you check ahead, you avoid the spread. So you want to get a good lice comb, and with some conditioner in your hair, you want to comb through the hot spots. These are just around the ears, at the nape of the neck, and the crown of the head. Once you do about 7 to 10 passes in the one hot spot, you wipe the comb on a white piece of paper towel, and you look for the little brown dots or little black dots, which would indicate lice eggs or
I thought they
bugs.
were white. I'm learning. Okay.
There's a lot of misconceptions about lice. So yes, they are dark in color, as there are their eggs.
Can we use this? Isn't this a zapper
This
as
is
well?
another great self-screening tool. So this, you turn it on and it hums, and you run it through your hair, and if it hits a bug, it stops humming. It literally zaps them dead on contact. So
Wow.
they're great. They're great for checking and self-screening.
Yeah, that sounds fun. That sounds like the future. Okay, but are there any old school sort of home remedies that we could use that are actually effective? On treating head lice?
Absolutely, and I'd rather people do that than go buy a pesticide. So if you're at home and it's late at night, you can't get to a store or a professional service, you can use coconut oil. You can use olive oil. These are smothering agents. You've got to leave them on for a minimum of 4 hours to overnight, but they'll clog the spiracles that the lice breathe through, and they'll suffocate them. You still do get in with a good lice comb after to reduction comb the eggs out. You can also use apple cider vinegar as a rinse. That'll help to loosen the glue that holds the eggs to the hair. Just don't do that if your child has open sores because it may sting a little bit.
Yeah. And what about the oils together or
No,
pick one?
just pick one. Pick the one you like. Even avocado oil will do the trick of just a thick, heavy oil, but I prefer coconut oil.
So you put that on their head. You throw a
shower
shower
cap,
cap, and
just
you
to
leave them
smother,
for 4 hours.
and it
okay.
smothers everything.
And then you've got some essential oils. Is that just to make the smell better?
Those are actually a bit of a preventative. So there's certain oils that bugs are repelled by: citronella, lemon, lavender, eucalyptus. You can mix those together, but be careful with essential oils. Although they're natural, they can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. You can buy pre-mixed things that you can use as sprays to create a scent barrier.
Got it. Okay, so let's go one step further. What are the best professional? Like if you've
Okay.
messed up, you're in a really bad crisis situation.
Yeah, you call me.
You call me. Okay, but you're going to go to some professional.
Yes.
What's the difference, and what should we be looking for?
Believe it or not, there are now professional lice removal companies across the country. I started mine 17 years ago. We have franchises from coast to coast. We use enzyme-based shampoos. We don't use pesticides or chemicals at all. Enzyme-based shampoos work down by breaking down the organic matter that the bugs and the eggs are made of, thus allowing us to cleanse them out quickly.
Got it.
Professional services use, and the newest thing on the market is this mineral product. This mineral is made of limestone, and what it does is it possesses a very high pH level. And when you put that on the bug or the egg, it literally dehydrates them. So this is the only product on the market that actually is a one and done. It does everything in an hour, and you don't even have to worry about getting the eggs out. But again, with any of these, you still should get the good lice comb to reduction comb the eggs out, even if it's just for aesthetic purposes.
Okay. What about the safest over-the-counter options? What might those be done?
So I would just caution parents, if you're going to the drugstore or the health food store, look for products that don't contain permethrin or chrysanthemum or any type of form of pesticide.
Why should they have a pesticide?
Here, I'm a mother of 3. I don't want to put pesticide on my child. We all know what it does to our environment, to our foods. We want to avoid it, and then this is a way to avoid it, definitely. The less of that we have in our environment, the better, and who wants to put that on their child? So there's a number of products you can get, tea tree-based, oil-based. Some companies are now getting on that bandwagon. The old standard pesticides aren't working like they used to, so people are developing newer things that are effective and that are safer and gentler for your children.
Okay, so
And yourself.
And yourself as well,
get it
right?
all the time. Yeah.
So here's the scenario. Someone in your house has lice. What do you do as far as cleaning? One of these.
Not the size of a lice. Thank goodness. Okay, yes?
You spotted the louse.
Yeah, I spotted the louse.
Right?
Okay.
So someone has lice or a louse in the house.
Yeah. A louse in the
A
house.
louse in the house. Do you strip every bed, every sheet, every pillowcase, bring in the carpet cleaners? Like, do you have to clean that?
The hazmat
suits, the whole deal.
This is what most people do. They panic and they go berserk on the house. Lice are living on you. They're not living in your environment. You should spend the time delousing and de-egging your hair before you even touch the house. They will die within 24 to 48 hours off the human head. So basically, there's no sense in cleaning your house if you still have active lice in your hair. There's great things you can do for the house that are also chemical and pesticide free. Vacuuming areas, putting things in a dryer for up to 30 minutes to heat them. And there are environmental enzyme sprays you can spray around areas that you think have been effective. But do it after you've treated yourself.
Dawn, thank you so much for giving
you.
us. For a recap of all this lice-busting advice, visit thesocial.ca after the show. We'll be right back.